Hello and welcome to the ePremier League Invitational. I'm Adam Smith and I'm pleased to say I will be alongside Joe Tomlinson as we look to find out who is the ultimate FIFA 20 player in the Premier League. It is the fifth and final day. We started on Tuesday. All Premier League clubs have been represented either by a player from their squad, an ex-player or celebrity fan. We've had influencers, we've had a BAFTA winner, a World Cup winner and a world champion. We started with 20 players. We're down to just 4, Joe.
Yeah, we've had 4 epic days of FIFA, haven't we? We've seen 94 goals so far, so hopefully we get plenty more entertainment like that today. Just a quick reminder though, please do stay home and help save lives. The prize fund from this EPL Invitational is being donated to the Players Together initiative as well, so that is great to see. Now, all of the players really want to win this tournament. I mean, just listen to Max Aarons here when we asked him how big it would be to lift the trophy.
Yeah, massive. I fancy myself as a FIFA player. I think I'm a very good FIFA player. So I think it's down to me to kind of back up my words really, and hopefully go on and win it.
So there's Max wanting to win it, and we can have a look at the games coming your way today because there is some exceptional fixtures. First and foremost, Aston Villa versus Liverpool. The 2 top scorers going head to head. It's going to see Keinan Davis versus James Maddison. The next fixture, we'll see Norwich go up against Sheffield United. It'll be Max Aarons against John Egan. We can see the draw in full as well here. James Maddison, to get to this stage, had to play an extra round than everybody else. Just a quick reminder, he beat Callum Wilson 8-1 in that round, so made it look fairly easy. Then he scraped his way past Max Meyer 3-2 before beating Michael Obafemi on golden goals. As for Keinan Davis, he's been scoring goals for fun, beating Liverpool legend Jose Enrique 6-1 and Burnley's Charlie Taylor 8-1 in a quarter final. Smithy, for the people that are just joining us for the first time, can you please explain some of the rules?
Yeah, I'd love to. These are the all-important rules you need to be aware of for the EPL Invitational. It is a straight knockout tournament. You lose one game, you are out. It is as simple as that. And each round consists of just one game. Every Premier League club is represented either by a player from their squad, an ex-pro or celebrity fan. But importantly, all ex-pros and celebrity fans are now out. We are down to just 4 current Premier League players. These are the all-important in-game rules. Each match will consist of 2 6-minute halves. In the event of a draw, golden goal will be used to determine the winner, just like it did in EPL Invitational 1 when Diogo Jota needed golden goal to beat Trent Alexander-Arnold of Liverpool in the final. And finally, 85 rated Premier League squads in kickoff mode to find out who is the ultimate FIFA 20 player.
Yeah, we've seen some brilliant games over the last few days and some even better goals. We can have a look at the 10 best goals of the EPL Invitational here too. This one was from Roberto Firmino for Jose Enrique. Look at the celebration, mirroring Bobby's celebration in real life. Fantastic finish. Number 9, Olivier Giroud. This one was for Emerson. He picked the ball up about 45 yards from goal with Olivier Giroud and smashed one in at the front post. Number 8 was for Jay Rodriguez and Charlie Taylor. This left-footed finish was really a nail in the coffin for Phil Foden as Charlie Taylor progressed through. 7 came in for Harry Kane. He was Ryan Sessegnon's danger man and really put the nail in Spencer Owen's coffin too. Jack Grealish has number 6. How about that for a finish into the top corner from Keinan Davis? That was one of 8 goals he scored against Burnley. Number 5 is James Maddison's goal that knocked out Michael Obafemi in golden goal with his own character. Michael throwing the pad down after that one. Number 4 came from David McGoldrick. How about this for a finish in the 90th minute to win the game, top corner, past Jofre Archer. Wow. Number 3 was from Michael Obafemi with himself. He scored 7 goals against Tony Bellew, including 5 with his own character. That was the pick of the bunch, twisting and turning, and look at that celebration. Number 2 came from Kelechi Iheanacho against Michael Obafemi. The cutback and the left-footed finish that sent Madders absolutely wild in his own front room. Number 1, though, has to be Paul Pogba. How about this? Top corner from Jofre Archer, 20 yards out. An absolute screamer, Smithy. He was very happy with that one.
Yeah, I'd agree there, Joe. That is, without doubt, for me, the goal of the tournament. It's also quite hard to condense them into just 10 because, as you said, we've seen so many goals. That has been a real theme of this tournament. Goals galore we've witnessed, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, Keinan Davis in particular has been scoring goals for fun, hasn't he? 14 goals in 2 games, including 8 at the quarterfinals. However, there have been some really assured defensive performances as well. Look at the likes of Max Aarons. He looks really solid. So I'm hoping we get more entertainment today. Maybe not loads of goals, but lots of tense FIFA.
We can have a look at this. Is an interesting graphic, this one, Joe, because it shows who are the top scorers of the tournament so far. Because as we said, there have been so many goals, been blessed to witness. James Maddison leads the way, 15 goals. He is quite simply the top scorer in the whole tournament. Now, interestingly, second on this list is Keinan Davis with 14. So that's only 1 goal less, and they play each other in semi-final 1. Worth pointing out, James Maddison has played a game more than Keinan Davis because he came through that round 1 qualifier. Michael Obafemi up there as well with 10, although 7 of them were against Tony Bellew. It's worth pointing out. The other thing that is intriguing about this list is someone that isn't even on this list, Joe, and that is Max Aarons, who is one of our semi-finalists, not one of our top scorers. He is the lowest scoring of the 4 semi-finals, only scoring 7 goals so far.
Yeah, only scored 7 goals, but he's definitely still one of the favourites, isn't he? He's an extremely competent FIFA player, and I think the fact that he's only conceded 2 goals in the whole tournament really shows you just how well-rounded he is. He's been at 3-0 up in both of his fixtures so far when he's conceded his goals as well. So the game's been pretty much done and dusted. I think Max Aarons, despite the fact he's only scored 7 goals, should not be written off, Smithy.
And the other thing is, Joe, people that watched EPL Invitational 1 will know that the predictions haven't been going particularly our way. Of course, Todd Cantwell, favourite in that one, was out in his first game. And Spencer Owen, favourite in this one, was out in his first game. So are we going to just ease down the predictions a little bit from now on, do you think?
Yeah, I'm not making any more predictions. Every time I call someone a favourite, they go on to lose. And, you know, on the top of my head, I'm thinking Keinan Davis might well be the favourite. He scored 14 goals in 2 games. However, if I call him the favourite, he's probably going to lose. So I'm not going to call anyone the favourite. I'm not making any predictions today because I'm always wrong, Smiths.
Okay, I love how modest you are. As well as Joe and myself, we are joined by our 2 FIFA casters, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley. There, oh, Richard Buckley's got dressed up. He's got the blazer on. So I'll be asking you a lot of questions about the attire shortly, Richard. But Brandon, let's come to you first. The other thing that we haven't spoken about is how entertaining this tournament's been. We've seen some great FIFA action. We've seen a lot of goals. But we really have seen some war of words, particularly with James Maddison. We saw Michael Obafemi say to Tony Bellew, take your son out of the room because this is not going to be pretty. Which, by the way, can we not critique any more of Tony Bellew because I don't want to get on the wrong side of Tony Bellew anytime soon. But we have seen some really feisty encounters, Brandon, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, Smithy. It's been a really, really interesting tournament, this one. And the fact as well that we're seeing 4 new finalists today. We're seeing 4 new teams in the second EPL Grand Finals day compared to what we saw last time out. We've seen, favourites, Wolves get knocked out of the tournament. As you said, West Ham as well, Spencer Owen get knocked out quite early on. But we'll talk about Tony Bellew, I'm sure, for a long time after this one. It was such an entertaining game between him and Michael Obafemi. But we've had so many laughs. I think Joe touched upon it earlier. We've seen 94 goals in total over the 4 days so far, coming into day 5. So, yeah, it's been an amazing few days, and I really can't wait for day 5 to unfold.
Yeah, this is day 5. Just a quick reminder, this is finals day, so it all comes down to today. So I presume, Richard, that's why you've got dressed up for the special occasion. Special blazer for a special day.
Yeah, a special blazer, special man, Smithy, as well, here in the final. I mean, it's a finals day. It's not a finals if I'm not wearing a blazer. It just takes it up that extra 5%. I do want to I'll give you a stat, though, as well. We talked about the goals, the conceding as well. Keinan Davis only conceded 2 goals in the entire tournament. 2 goals. This man is the favourite. You can have all your predictions you want. This is the Richard Buckley favourite. This is the only favourite that matters. He's winning the tournament.
Yeah, Richard, you've been quite strong with your predictions, and I think you alluded to it on day 4. That Brandon has sort of made quite a few predictions, shall we say.
I mean, Brandon, I don't know where this crystal ball is. You've made like 35 predictions in the entire tournament. What's happening, mate? What is happening?
Right, this needs clearing up because this has been going on for far too long. All right, this is going for far too long. I did make a point. All right, I did say a few points about who's going to win. Maybe I said a few too many players could win the tournament, but I did say Max Aarons on the left-hand side of the bracket would go to the final, And I said on the right side of the bracket, James Maddison would go to the final. So my prediction is still okay, Richard. I still feel like they'll be our grand finalists today. It'll be Max Aarons up against James Maddison. You're saying Keinan Davis will win the whole thing. He's looked good. I agree with you. He has looked really good.
I mean, without doubt, he's looked the best player. He's looked the most well-rounded player, in my opinion. But anything can happen in a game of FIFA.
Joe, it's an interesting point Richard made earlier there about, I suppose we were dwelling on the goal scorers because there have been so many goals, but defensively, we should touch upon that as well, because Keinan Davis only conceding 2. That could be a real strength for his going into a semi-final.
Yeah, we got 2 players that have only conceded 2 goals, haven't we? Max Aarons and Keinan Davis. But, James Maddison as well, just because they're not conceding goals doesn't mean they haven't had to overcome adversity. James Maddison's had to come from behind twice. They're really, really tough matches to do so. I know that Buckers in commentary earlier in the week was talking about, because it is that one-game shootout, very rarely do you see a comeback. Well, Maddison has been involved in 2. So I think we should maybe put a little bit more respect on James's name, because we've been bigging up Keinan Davis with amazing results, don't get me wrong. But I think that clash in particular is going to be super entertaining.
Yeah, and that clash is our first semi-final. I'm pleased to say we can speak to the players. So first up, Keinan Davis of Aston Villa. Keinan, how are you feeling going into the semi-final? Be honest, are the nerves kicking in a bit?
Yeah, I was a bit nervous, but feeling all right now, so it should be a good game.
Let's have it right. You've scored 14 goals in 2 games. It's been quite straightforward for you so far compared to some of the other players, hasn't it?
Yeah, the people I've come up against haven't really tested me so far, but I reckon this will be a good test. So I'm just looking forward to it.
And of course, in EPL Invitational 1, John McGinn, I mean, we all know what happened to John McGinn. He got hammered, let's have it right, in his first game. And you've been the exact opposite. Have you had words with John McGinn? I presume you haven't been asking him for any tips going into the semi-final.
No chance. But I saw his games, but I'm just going to represent better.
Okay, you are coming up against James Maddison, and we have called it all week. He has been the king of the mind games. He's got in the head of every single player that he's played. And I know that you probably agree with that because you're smirking. Against Michael Obafemi, he even referenced the 9-0 Premier League scoreline from this season and said that he was living in his head rent-free. So how are you going to combat the genius mind games of James Maddison?
Well, Obafemi fed into it. I'm just going to keep composed and just focus on myself. Just ignore him.
Just ignore him. Okay, Keinan, Madders can hear you, he can see you. So finally, do you have a message for James Maddison before we commence?
Not really a message, but I just know I'm going to win.
Oh, there we go, Joe. Fighting talk. It's as simple as that. Keinan Davis says he's going to win. And I think I saw Madders with a little smirk there.
Madders, were you laughing then when Keinan said he's going to win today?
Yeah, I was laughing. Keinan's so good, he's the best in the tournament by a mile, so it's his to lose, ain't it? It's a free roll for me, so.
That feels like a few more mind games there, Madders. Are you trying to take the pressure off yourself?
Nah, we all know Keinan's the best, I've watched his game, he's the best. I'll be surprised if I win this, so like I said, I'm free rolling. Just looking forward to the game.
Now, we've seen some big celebrations from you throughout the tournament, lots of shushing in particular. Are we going to see more shushes come out today if you score?
Do you know what? I actually cut out when I scored my winner yesterday. I ran off my chair and ran around my living room. But I don't know. I'd be surprised if I scored. He's so good at FIFA and he's such a good defender. I'll be surprised if I get near his goal, to be honest.
This is the most I've seen you praise an opponent, I have to say, so far, James. We saw you hammering Callum Wilson. We saw you talking about beating Michael Obafemi 9-0 in real life. What has changed in the last 24 hours to make you seem like you're the underdog in this one?
Yeah, you said it correct. I'm the underdog. Nothing's changed. Just Keinan's so good at FIFA, so I have to try my best. I have to get lucky to win because he's so good.
There we go then, Smithy. I think Madders is definitely playing it down a little bit.
Joe, you can say that again. Playing it down. That is the exact opposite of what I expected from that pre-match interview. I cannot believe what I just heard from James Maddison based on what we've heard earlier on in the week. This is the route, incidentally, that both players took to get to the semi-final stage. So first up, we'll look at Keinan Davis's route. So Keinan, we're looking at pictures now. Your first game was against Liverpool. Jose Enrique, of course, he kissed the trophies beforehand. Of course, he won 2 FIFA tournaments. Did he get in your head in any way beforehand?
No, not at all. I was just playing for the camera. I knew he wasn't going to be up to my standard.
1-1 on the 40-minute mark, but after that, be honest, second half, it was all Keinan Davis and Aston Villa, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was easy run.
We've just seen your celebrations there. It's been great. Very confident, smiling, laughing. It finished 6-1. We've just seen you celebrating there. So you then moved on to your second game, and this was against Charlie Taylor, representing Burnley. Now, Charlie Taylor had already come through 2 matches because he was one of the unlucky players that came through a round 1 qualifier. I think we all expected this to be a little bit closer, but this was so one-sided again, wasn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, I was a bit panicky to play Charlie because his games were.
Why is that?
Because he had 2 games, 2 big teams, and he won. So I was expecting different.
Now, I've got to ask Keinan Davis what it's like for Keinan Davis to score as Keinan Davis, the in-game character. Just talk us through what that feels like.
Yeah, well, when I usually play myself, I don't really score that much because my stats aren't good. So it's a big change and a good change.
A good change. Okay, so that is the route, Joe. 6-1 and 8-1. Keinan Davis, let's have it right. He hasn't been tested yet.
Yeah, not too bad. Maybe the man to test him today will be James Maddison. Maddison, we can see your route to the semi-final as well. Now, you've had to play a game more than anyone else at this level. Do you think it's a positive or a negative you've had to play 3 games and everybody else has had to play 2?
I don't know. How did that work? Was that the luck of the draw, was it? Because I realised that.
Yeah, pure luck of the draw.
Yeah, it's what it is, you know. Probably it might leave me in good stead, I'm hoping. But like I've said, you know, I've watched Keinan's games and stuff, and he looks like the man to beat. So I'm going with a clear mind, a free mind, and just hoping for the best of him because he's obviously the clear favourite.
And in your first game, you played against Callum Wilson, 8-1 winner. Second game was slightly more difficult, I think it's fair to say, against Max Mayer, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And came from behind in my last 2 games. So if Keinan goes in the lead, there will be no panicking on my side. But yeah, the last game against Michael Obafemi, definitely that was a game. That was a really enjoyable game, and I actually I'm gutted that I froze when I scored the winner because my celebrations I went mental because I was that happy scoring myself as well. But I'm up against a different animal today, so and I know that.
Talk to us about when you were 2-0 down against Michael Obafemi. Did you always feel like you were going to come back? Because you were quite dominant in the game, weren't you? Yeah, I battered him, didn't I? Had all the possession. Nah, to be fair, especially second half, even though I was behind, I just, when you're playing FIFA, you know, and I knew I always had a chance. And then I was on top, and he got obviously a bit nervous, and he was feeling the pressure, and he was buffing under the pressure, which is something I don't do. So really, really happy to come out on top in that one. Yeah, definitely. And that golden goal moment was one of my favourite of the tournament so far. Were there a few sweaty palms when that one was going through one-on-one?
Definitely. I was just wanted to, obviously, a golden goal, so once you've scored, then that's it. The game's finished, which is obviously a good format. But yeah, I love seeing that one going. Michael's reaction was hilarious to watch back as well.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Right then, Smithy, should we get on with it?
Yes, let's get on with it. Let's bring in our casters, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley. Brandon, firstly, I've got to ask you, what do you make of James Maddison's pre-match interview there? Because we've been the exact opposite going into this. Is he playing it down? Is this a bit of reverse psychology, do you think?
It's a weird one, isn't it, Smithy? I think he's always been very much confident in his ability throughout this whole EPL invitational scenario. But maybe he realises that this is a player that we need to be worried about in the tournament. Yes, he scored 14 goals across 2 games, which is pretty remarkable. He hasn't conceded many goals either. But as other people have been saying, has Davies really had a test yet so far in the tournament? I think this is the big test right now.
Richard, do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, the fact that Keinan hasn't really been tested so far?
I think it can go both ways. It can be a bad thing because you don't really know what he's capable of. We've just seen the best of him. We've seen almost the greatest hits there might be a few stinkers in there as well that we don't know about. But I think overall, as his performance, I've been very impressed. Maddison knows what he needs to do. He needs to grind him down. He needs to sort of just not let him get any sort of lead. In a one-legged game of FIFA, get into half-time at 0-0, snatch it in the second half. This game can go either way.
Yeah, this game can go either way, and we're almost ready to go for our first semi-final, and of course, our first match of the final day of the tournament. It's Aston Villa against Leicester. Buckers has got a jacket on for it, especially. We're ready to go. Let's hand you back to our casters, Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley.
Well, here we go then. Day 5 of the EPL Invitational brings us to this stage now. Only 4 teams left in the tournament, and our first semi-final of the day. We'll see Aston Villa and Keinan Davies up against Leicester City and James Maddison. I really don't know which way this game is going to go, Richard. These two so impressive throughout the tournament so far. Used to scoring a lot of goals. James has scored 15. Keinan scored 14. I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, if we had 94 goals in total in the entire tournament, nearly a third of the goals have been scored by these two players on your screen right now. Expect fireworks, expect the early barrage as well from Keinan Davies. He's been blowing teams away in the first 45 minutes and then taking his foot off the gas. Expect early goals in this game.
Of course, two teams that have matched up a handful of times in the last season. Back to goal. Could it be the first one in this game? Fantastic save from Schmeichel. It's just an early warning sign from Aston Villa. One thing that we've been so impressed with from James Maddison is that drag back that has scored him so many goals, whether it's with Vardy, himself, Ian Acho.
It's a skill move that he's sort of got the mastery of, that drag back. You saw it 3-4 times there, linking back to back, creating space, opening up avenues in the attacking third. That's beautiful play from Maddison on the edge of the box. Good tackle from Keinan.
Corner now for Leicester. They're away at Villa Park for this semi-final. Played short. Jose Perez back to Johnny Evans. He didn't fancy. He wanted to try and play the one more pass on, but will still fall back to the Foxes. Perez bundled over. And Aston Villa with a chance to break away. But we speak about how good that drag back has been for James Maddison. Keinan Davies, what's been kind of his kryptonite in the final third? It's just been how he's been able to link up, how he's been able to get that ball forward as Jack Grealish nearly makes it 1-0.
It's been the clinical edge in the final third that's been winning in the games, Brandon. And as I said as well, early goals kill games of FIFA if you're losing a game. In a one-legged game of FIFA, if you're 2-0 down at half-time, not only is the scoreline so hard to get back, but the mental side of the game, you start then going more attacking, you start pressing higher up the pitch, more gaps are in behind. It sort of plays into your opponent's hands well.
And I'm sure as well, Richard, that there will be a few semi-final nightmares if you think back to that EFL Cup that did take place this season where Aston Villa did win on the aggregate scoreline and were able to go to Wembley. Unfortunately, did fall to the hands of Manchester City in that final. But in the league, Leicester beat Villa both times on the road and at home. So we don't really know which way this one is going to go. Vardy.
Also, important to point out, Brandon, James Maddison's been in a semi-final in a FIFA tournament from home in the past couple of weeks as well. He was in the football staying home semi-final, so he knows that he's capable of playing top quality FIFA when the pressure is on. These two are professional athletes, okay, they're playing in front of thousands every single week. I don't really see the nerves being that big of a factor.
If you target into Jack Grealish, he's been full of goals, so is this man John McGinn. Went for the cutback, he scored with himself. Of course he scored with himself in a semi-final. Keinan Davies will get the game underway. In front.
And then, did I just see a little shush to the camera as well from Keinan Davies? He enjoyed that one. He certainly enjoyed that one.
It's one of those, isn't it, Rich? It's a smart finish. It's a guaranteed goal. He said it before the game started. He's enjoyed playing with this version of himself in this 85 rated mode where He now suddenly has 91 pace to his name and some unbelievable statistics going forward.
He's also quite tall as well, Keinan Davis, 6'3" in height. So with the pace, it certainly is a combo to be scared of. Somehow keeps that one out, Jamie Vardy. Maddison creating chances. A third of this game completed in your semi-final.
Yeah, to be honest, Richard, I thought that was going to be the equaliser there, Vardy. Back to Perez on the edge of the box, and did he? Able to get the pass away, and Trezeguet try and break forward now for Aston Villa. Do lead by 1-0 in your first semi-final of day 5 of the EPL Invitational. Of course, you cannot forget Norwich against Sheffield United coming up in a little while. Grealish back to Davies. That ball did go through to Jack Grealish. That could have been 2-0.
This is sort of, you'd say, a little bit unknown territory for Keinan Davis. He's usually 3-0 up by this point. His previous 2 results, massive wins. 6-1 against Jose Enrique, 8-1 against Charlie Taylor of Burnley. Maddison is, I wouldn't say used to coming from behind, but he knows that he's capable of trailing the game and getting back into it with a late flourish. He was superb in the second half. Absolutely superb.
I think on top of that as well, Richard, sorry, just to jump in, he scored, what, 3-4 goals, as you mentioned, in the first half. Something that he's used to doing, getting early goals, going up with a bit of a lead into the halfway point, and in the second half, I wouldn't say he took his foot off the gas, so to speak, but we didn't see the same sort of performance from him. Last 5 minutes of this first half, and then we will catch up with both players, see how they are feeling at the halfway point in this semi-final.
Wow.
Maddison. Which way is he going? Ref, is it a foul? Is it not a foul? It will be a foul.
Is it going to be something direct, or is it going to be a little layoff from Maddison? James is over it himself.
I mean, he's going to hit this. He's got to. He's got to hit this.
Man on the line has Keinan.
Here comes Maddison over it.
Maddison's over it.
Nearly. Testing Pepe Reina in the Villa net. Last chance of the half will fall to Aston Villa. McGinn.
Deadly from that area.
This can happen. Added time of just 2 minutes left. Keinan Davies looking for a brace, a first half brace it would be. I think that will probably do us. Will there be enough time to get that ball forward one more time? Drag back into Kelechi and Acho. Chance for the Foxes to break away. Lovely ball into Jamie Vardy. Vardy is in!
James Maddison. Beautiful play in the final third. Kelechi and Jamie linking up. That is a fantastic goal. Keinan, sometimes you've just got to tip your hat to a bit of a great attacking play.
Leicester City goal, number 9, James Vardy.
Keinan, are you a bit annoyed at yourself conceding right on the half-time whistle there?
Yeah, that's poor from me. Should know better than that.
It was a good goal, though. It was a very, very good goal, and it's a very close game so far. What have you made of James Maddison, the FIFA player?
Yeah, he's been alright. Nothing outstanding, but he's held me to 1 goal at half time. So yeah, it's good.
And this is the first time we've not seen you leading at the break. Are you feeling a little bit nervous? A few sweaty palms going on there?
No, not at all. I'm prepared.
Any changes you're going to make second half? You're going to keep it the exact same?
No, I'm going to keep it the same.
And obviously we saw you score with Keinan Davis as well. You are playing up front really, really well. Do you want to just keep scoring goals for yourself? You're going to, at some stage, substitute yourself?
No chance. I'm trying to keep that going.
All right, I think we're just about ready to go, so I'll let you crack back on. Handing back to our commentary team, Brandon and Rich.
Well, here we go. We are going to get this second half underway in a second, Richard. But some interesting words at the halfway point from Keinan Davies. I think the key thing I'd take away from the half, Richard, is that he's conceded 2 goals in total throughout this whole tournament. But we are just going to have a quick pause in this game, I do believe. We're not going to get this ball kicked out of play. I think there is an issue, and I think Manners will play this attack if we will look to try and score a goal. When the game does get paused, we will try and get both players' webcams and voices back for you on the screen. Both are trying to pause it. There you go. Ball's out of play, and we will throw back over to Adam Smith now, just to fill us in before we get back to this game.
Yeah, as Brandon said, we do hope to get back to that very, very shortly. But Joe, I want to pick up on that halftime interview you had with Keinan, 1-1. Keinan with the shush celebration as well. So he's almost playing Madders at his own game, trying to throw the mind games back at him.
We do it, didn't we? We saw Michael Obafemi shushing James Maddison, and that didn't end too well, it has to be said. So maybe it's a little bit too premature, especially given that he conceded right on the stroke of half-time.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joe, actually, because a lot of games we've seen throughout this tournament, obviously it's a 5-day tournament, started on Tuesday. This is the 5th and final day. A lot of big goals we've seen on the halfway point. This will give James Maddison a lot of confidence going into the second half.
Yeah, definitely. Loads of confidence. And I'm not overly surprised that he scored a goal right on the stage of half-time. Right, it looks like the game is back. So I will hand back to our commentary team, Brandon and Rich.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And yes, we are back underway for the second half of this game. Now, Aston Villa against Leicester. And the point I did want to ask you about, Richard, was the fact that Keinan Davies only conceded 2 goals up to this stage. He's already conceded 1 in this match.
Yeah, I think he's been, I wouldn't say sort of underestimated James Maddison, but James Maddison is a very solid FIFA player. There's no sort of, you can't take anything away from him. He knows how to play FIFA. He knows what he wants to do with the ball. But he was also very much bigging up Keinan Davies. Chance there at the near post. You heard Madders say it himself. What a save. Great free kick as well.
It was certainly one off the training ground. Unbelievable free kick. I think it was just played inside to Kelechi and Nacho that had the chance. But what a save that was from Pepe Reina, a player with so much experience in big matches, semi-finals. Here comes Trezeguet now.
Cut it back.
Can Villa get back in front? Went for the cut back inside. Ben Chilwell's there to latch onto that clearance.
That, Brandon. But maybe a little bit of frustration creeping in for Keinan Davies. He's been very smiley, and I mean, he's not been throughout the rest of the tournament. He's not been in this position, has he? In a tight game.
How's that not a foul? He's on the floor.
Quite animated. James Maddison there at the referee appealing for some sort of free kick. Referee says no, we're going to play on.
It looked like a barge off the ball, didn't it?
One thing I want to say, Richard, we did say coming to this game, this is going to be the first test that, in the nicest way possible, that Keinan Davies is going to have in this tournament. And it's living up to that right now. The scoreline is 1-1. Just 30 minutes left of it. If we are drawing, of course, we're a long, long way away from that. We will be going to golden goal to decide who will be in the grand final of our second EPL Invitational.
I've just been impressed with James Maddison, to be honest. We saw him literally, 2 weeks ago, Brandon, in a semi-final in the football staying home tournament, and he got battered, didn't he, to be honest, in this semi-final right now, arguably against the tournament's best player in Keinan Davies. 1 apiece with 25 minutes left to play. You've seen improvement throughout the entire tournament.
What else did we say as well? Throughout the tournament, Keinan Davies has been 3 or 4 goals up to the good by half-time. That's not the case here. Pause from James Madders, whether that will be a substitution or not. You look back at the games that James Maddison has to go through. As we had to go through a golden goal scenario up against Southampton in the quarterfinals. A 3-2 win up against Crystal Palace. Chance now, Davies. He's through. It's his chance. That was his moment.
My notifications off here.
The ball will just go over the bar in the end. An unbelievable chance for Keinan Davies in the end.
That should be all right, I think.
Keinan, 20 minutes left to play. How are we feeling?
Getting later in the game, getting a bit tense.
You see the team he is lining up with at the moment. 4-2-3-1. No changes though, Keinan. Happy with how it's all going?
Yeah.
James, just a quick word from you. I've been very impressed so far. Have you impressed yourself with his performance?
Speaking to me?
Sorry, I'll let you crack on with the game. We'll catch up later.
James Maddison, so in the zone. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Could that be the winner? The fake shot inside.
So
and Aston Villa will score. It was from the set piece. Surely it wasn't him again. It was.
Keinan
He's got
Davis loves scoring with himself. It's a fantastic bit of ingenuity inside the box with the skill move, with the fake shot. It looks like on a very tight angle, to be honest. But still, somehow managed to squeeze it past Kasper Schmeichel. And with 20 minutes left to play, in that familiar leading position.
That's what the game needed, Richard. We often talk about this all the time when you get a game when you've got two players that are so good. It's either a mistake or just a piece of magic. That was unbelievable from the corner. It was played short, a little fake shot inside, and he tucked that one in at the far hand post. Here comes Kelechi Iheanacho for Leicester. They need a goal.
Why am I
They want to take this to golden goal. 15 minutes left for the Foxes to find an answer.
The tension right now is palpable. Both players getting frustrated with their own mistakes. It's going to come down to one chance to send us into golden goal, all to wrap up the game. Grealish on the edge, back to Nakamba.
Jack Grealish.
Captain Jack Grealish smashes it in at the near post. Keinan Davies.
I'm the best. He was right.
Leading 3-1.
And he's saying to James Maddison, you said I was the best and I'm backing up once again on the big stage. Unfortunately, it's going to be a semi-final nightmare again for Leicester City. And Aston Villa look like they will be going into a grand final again. James, is it game over or is there any way back in this?
It's in the zone. Keinan. Just a quick one, Keinan. I'm seeing a complete defensive change here into a 5-back. Yeah. Is this something you're comfortable with?
Yeah, just want Ezri Konza to keep it solid at the back.
It's a bit of game management, Richard. That's all it is. We've got a final on our hands. The 2 goals up to the good.
Number 10, Jack Grealish.
And I can confirm that will be a total of 17 goals scored for Keinan Davis throughout this process. Drag back, Jamie Vardy. Drag back onto Dragba. What can he do? Tyrone Mings at the back does get fouled in the end, but the referee will go back for a goal kick. And with 9 minutes left.
Oh!
We could be seeing one of those names into the grand final. Not happy with the ref. I'm surprised the ref's had a word with him. Here's Vardy. Yeah. Has to be a goal. That has to go in.
I'll tell you what. Villa's goalkeeper has been outstanding in this semi-final, Brandon. 2 or 3 big saves. When you get into the latter stages of a cup competition, you need your goalkeepers to play well.
Well done. Well done. No.
What is on the line?
How?
It's in.
Hold on.
James Maddison with it as well, Richard. 5 minutes left in this game. Will it be semi-final heartbreak for the Foxes, or will there be an answer? Will we go to golden goal? They need one more chance. Will they get it? That's the question. You always say it, Richard. You get one more chance. You'll always get one more chance.
Lads, move for me.
2 minutes left to play. Is that chance going to come? Pereira wins it back. This is Maddison's opportunity.
Barnes. Back to Chilwell. Any time to follow. Everything has to go forward now. Any time of just 2 minutes left. Vardy back inside. This could be the chance for the Foxes.
No,
Will it be golden
I
goal?
can't believe
Ball
it.
across the box. Oh,
James Maddison!
Oh my God!
I can't believe it.
And who is it? Richard? It's Wilfred Ndidi. He's back from the death of that tournament defeat. He may have lost 8-2 in the first EPL Invitational.
What a story!
Oh my gosh.
You can't write this. Shakespeare, eat your heart out. After getting battered in the first ePremier League Invitational, Ndidi comes back to save the game. Oh,
He's the hero. He's the hero, Richard. Wilfred Ndidi. Keinan Davies, he made a defensive change. There was 9 minutes. There was 9 minutes left in that game. He was leading by 2-0, Richard. You don't throw away that kind of result in a semi-final. You don't.
These are what final days of tournaments are all about. 3-2 with a minute and a half left to play. Ndidi at the back post. We said Madders were going to get one more chance. And boy, has he took it. Keinan Davies back into the familiar 4-2-3-1 formation. He will come forward from the kickoff. And I'll tell you what, this will be the ultimate drama finish.
No way.
I think that's a delayed reaction there from Maddison. We got his webcam a little bit later on in that game. He's not just scored again in that game. Do not worry. I think that was the Ndidi goal. He certainly has been enjoying it just as much as we did. But I think that's it. We've got about a few more seconds to play, and then we will be going to golden goal. But what happened last time, Richard? Leicester City, they were in golden goal against Southampton. James Maddison won that game with himself.
Oh, I mean, James Maddison knows how to win in golden goal. We're a few seconds away from being into golden goal. I think it was scored just on the 90th, so we have got injury time left to play. Are we going to see a winner, Brandon? Or is it going to be Keinan Davies?
To be honest, I think it's just kickoff.
Yeah.
All that is needed to play in this game, because it was 90+2 when the chance did come in. And it was a goal from Wilfred Ndidi. If you don't know the kind of context behind that, Wilfred Ndidi represented the Foxes last time out in the EPL Invitational. He lost 8-2 in his first game. That's the full-time whistle. We've got a golden goal in our hands. Aston Villa 3, Leicester City 3.
Wow, we are going to golden goal. Golden goal in our first semi-final. It was all Keinan Davies. We heard Keinan Davies even say James Maddison. He was right to say I'm the best player. But Joe, just when we thought Madders was out, just like in the previous round, he's going to golden goal. What's drama, mate?
Big time right now. I cannot believe that I've just seen that. There was only 9 minutes left on the game, and we saw 2 goals from James Maddison. Never count him out. The same thing happened, didn't it, against Michael Obafemi? Unbelievable turnaround. Keinan Davies changing formation. What on earth was he thinking? It's all gone wrong from that point onwards, Smithy.
Joe, we saw Keinan Davies with the shush. We saw him say to James Maddison, as I said, that he's the best player. James Maddison playing it down, but an unbelievable last moment. Shakespeare eats your heart out, Richard Buckley said. I don't know what it means, but it thoroughly entertained me. And what we're going to golden goal. And surely now you have to put James Maddison as slight favourite, because he's used to this golden goal. He came through this in his previous round and he knows how to come back.
I think there's no favourites right now. We're going to see 2 teams with fresh legs. Both of them have had 90 minutes to work out how the opposition played. And let's be honest, the keepers kept them in that game. There was some massive chances for both Leicester and for Villa. I mean, I'm running out of superlatives to describe this tournament, because that was an unbelievable comeback by Madders.
And Joe, just to add to the drama, Keinan Davies scored with Keinan Davies. James Maddison scored with James Maddison. And we saw some epic scenes when he got that equaliser as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely epic scenes. We saw it on a slight delay, didn't we? But it was Wilfred Ndidi as well that scored the goal. Of course, Wilfred Ndidi represented Leicester in EPL Invitational 1 and was not very good. He got absolutely hammered, went out first round. So for him to come back and score the equaliser in the 91st minute for Leicester and James Maddison is, like Buckley said in commentary, a script that Shakespeare couldn't write.
Yeah, yeah, a bit of context for that as well. And Ndidi lost 8-2, so he was at his first game in EPL Invitational 1, and he actually took to social media to say Jamie Vardy and Kasper Schmeichel will never let me play FIFA on the coach again because Leicester regularly play FIFA on their away journeys. And James Maddison said he's looking to do 1 better, 2 better, 3 better, just looking to do anything better than what Wilfred Ndidi did because he didn't have the best tournament. But Wilfred Ndidi is the man that has saved James Maddison and taken it to golden goal. So I think James might be dropping him a little thank you text after today if he gets through, Joe.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, how about the composure? In the 91st minute, you know, one last attack. Jamie Vardy, most FIFA players are going to try and cut it back, you know, maybe play a ground cross in that situation, but to stand a ball up to the back post for Wilfred Ndidi to arrive at that moment, the composure is brilliant. This game has been so back and forth, and Keinan Davis might be regretting a little bit now, saying, I'm the best and you were right.
There he is. We can see him stretch. We can see him get ready for golden goal. Joe, how do you think the psychology changes? Because we mentioned before the game, Keinan hasn't really been tested at all. It's been so comfortable for him. How do you think that changes now going into golden goal? Do you think he must be feeling the pressure now?
I don't know. He's been quite relaxed throughout, hasn't he? We saw a bit of a celebration when the third goal went in. I think he thought the game had been put to bed, but it hadn't. And I just think he'll try and keep his composure. You know, he's a very, very good FIFA player. And if he can just get the ball in and around the box into the feet of Keinan Davis, his own character yet again, then he's going to cause problems. So I think he'll just try and stay calm, try and stay composed, Smithy.
Yeah, let's bring in the thoughts of our casters as well, because we saw how excited Brandon and Richard got when that went to golden goal. Couldn't quite believe what we saw. Brandon, do you think either of them were looking to make any tactical changes now that we are going to golden goal? Because, of course, as the rules stipulate, the next goal, that is it. You're through to the final.
Yeah, crazy stuff, to be honest, Adam. It was one of those where 9 minutes left. It was 9 minutes left. He was away from sending Aston Villa into another final after beating Leicester again, as we saw in the EFL Cup earlier this year. And when they did pick up that win, he went 5 at the back. You think it's a defensive change that is going to do enough for him to see the game through. But if anything, it made Madders actually play better. He got more players forward, scored 2 goals in 9 minutes. And the fact out of that game for me, Adam, is that that's the most goals, of course, that Keinan has conceded throughout this whole tournament. He conceded 2 up to this point.
Yeah, it's a good point Brandon makes, Richard. That change from Keinan, were you surprised with that tactical change that he did?
A little bit, yeah. I have not seen Keinan Davis play enough FIFA to talk about his tactical changes, but going to a 5-3-2, it's not the most sort of competitive formation. It does invite pressure on. We know Maddison is clinical in the final third. Also, another stat, Smithy, ton up. That was the 100th goal of the ePremier League Invitational, and what a goal it was, the drama.
You love a stat, Richard, and that is a great stat as well. Joe, the other thing as well, whenever these teams meet, you see the Maddison and Grealish debate, both of them scored. So it just puts to bed that both top players, there's so many subplots developing from this game.
So many subplots,
yeah,
not
really
long
is.
to go now. I'm just so excited to see this second game commence. Of course, fresh legs as well, which is going to make an awful lot of difference. And I believe the game is about to commence, so I'll hand back to Brandon and Rich.
Thank you very much, guys. 90 minutes wasn't enough. Even 6 goals between the two wasn't enough to separate them. Golden goal at Villa Park to decide a grand final spot here of the EPL Invitational. And Richard, what a game that was. What a last 10 minutes.
Yeah, absolute scenes, Brandon. That's what FIFA's all about. You can never count yourself out of a game. You always get that one more chance. You always get that last roll of the dice. And for Maddison, it came in clutch. We've already seen him win 1 golden goal. Shootout here in the ePremier League Invitational. He's looking to make it 2. Jamie Vardy!
Jamie Vardy! Come on!
But that's all you need to see. Breathing it. Taking it. Leicester City get their revenge in semi-final.
Drag back does it
Cup
again.
football. And they will the grand final of the EPL
Oh my
Invitational.
days.
Wow, so there we have it. James Maddison, another phenomenal comeback. He is in the final. Leicester City have done it. Madder's got to come to you first. Your body language is a picture. Talk to us about that game. What a semi-final we witnessed.
You know what? I just want to quote Keinan Davis about. I think it must have been about 18 minutes on the clock, and he said, "I'm the best, and I am the best." And he's just crashed out. So I'm going to go to the final. I'm going to take Leicester all the way. Come on.
Keinan, I'm sorry to kick you while you're down, but I can confirm James Maddison is right. You did say that you were the best. Do you regret those words now?
Oh yeah, I do.
Keinan, what went wrong? It was plain sailing. James needed 2 goals in the last 90 minutes. It looked to be fairly comfortable. Just explain what happened in those last 10 minutes.
You know what? I put a 5 at the back. It's just messed me up.
Can tell Keinan is absolutely devastated. James, you've been the king of the mind games all tournament. You gave us a bit of reverse psychology going into this one. Have you got inside another player's head, do you think?
Tell you what, I don't know any rent because I'm in there rent free. Do you know what? I thought I'd take a little different approach with Keinan because I knew he was a good player. But do you know what? I'd feed his ego, tell him how good he is before the game. And do you know what? It absolutely worked a treat.
Keinan, I've asked a lot of players if they want to see their opponent win the tournament because then they can say they've lost to the eventual winner. But having heard what James says, do you want him to go on and win it or not?
Hell no. I want him to lose. No, I'm joking. I hope he wins. Make me feel a bit better.
Keinan, brilliant. Got to give the last word to James Maddison. James, you are in the final of the EPL Invitational. Just give us an insight into what that means to represent Leicester City in the final.
Just makes me feel. I'll never forget how I felt at Villa Park when we lost in the semis of the Carabao Cup. And obviously watch Villa at Wembley, so that gives me a slight little bit. That makes me feel a bit better about that. But now, all joking aside, that was obviously great fun. Keinan, good player and stuff, and really enjoyed that. So look forward to the final now.
Guys, thank you both. Keinan, you've been absolutely brilliant throughout this tournament. Very entertaining, very gracious in defeat as well. Madders, we'll see you very soon for the final. Thanks very much, guys.
Cheers, people.
Cheers.
Joe, what a game. Madders alluded to it. These teams actually met 4 times this season, in the Premier League twice and in the League Cup twice. Leicester getting the better of Villa in both league games. But of course, in the League Cup, Villa coming out on top. And Madders saying slight redemption there for that night. So, I mean, unbelievable first semi-final.
Yeah, that was just class, wasn't it? That reaction from Madders. And we do now have confirmation that it will be Leicester City that progress to the final of the EPL Invitational after James Maddison defeats Keinan Davis 4-3 on golden goal. We can see the draw in full and the route that James has taken to get here. Of course, you won't be able to see the fact he beat Callum Wilson 8-1 before that Palace game. Then he beats Southampton. Now he beats Villa. Right, we can see the game as well that you're about to see after the break. It will be Norwich versus Sheffield United. Max Aarons versus John Egan, Smithy.
Yeah, it is time for a quick break, but do not go anywhere because Norwich against Sheffield United is our next semi-final. Who will be joining James Maddison in the final? Find out very soon. We'll see you in a bit.